Welcome everyone to our third webinar on the implementation of long-term transmission rights on Finnish and Estonian border. My name is Erkki Sapp and I'm head of Energy Market Department at Elering. And I'm really happy that you have been able to join this webinar. As a reminder, as this is the third webinar, during the first webinar, we gave a introduction and background on the long-term transmission rights, including the economic basics of different long-term transmission rights. During second webinar, we presented two methodologies which were on public consultation at that time. First, the regional design of long-term transmission rights, and second, the regional annex of the harmonized allocation rules. Recordings of both of these webinars are available on the web, so let us know if you should be interested and have not had the chance to see these yet. Today we will be talking about the capacity calculation and splitting rules, as well as introduce the single allocation platform. This meeting will also be recorded and later published on the internet, so take note of that. And then today's agenda is in front of us. After I have finished, then Marja Eronen from Fingrid will talk about the long-term capacity and splitting rules. And then Stefan Bogdanov from JAO will talk about the auction platform. And then we will have a open discussion and questions section, after which Irene Orr from Elering will give the project update and TSO's next steps. Should you want to ask questions or give comments during the presentations, please raise your hand or write your question or comment in the chat. I believe we will take the questions after each of the presentations. And with this, I think we can now move to our first presentation. And please, Marja, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay. So I will do the sharing. So let me see if I hopefully you can see it now. Yes. Thank you. Good. So like Erkki introduced, my name is Marja Eronen and working for Fingrid in the market development department. And today going shortly through about the Fingrid's and Elering's proposal how to allocate the capacity for this long-term transmission rights. And our proposal will then be open for the consultation. So it comes at the later point of this presentation, the period of the consultation. So then you are able to give your feedback on it also in the written format. Let's see. So to start with the general principle about the forward capacity allocation regulations, which actually is the basic, which sets the rules for the long-term capacity calculation and splitting of the LTTRs, and in our case here in Estonia-Finnish border, those will be the financial transmission rights, so FTRs. And the general principle on the regulation is also set that the capacity given on the FTRs or the LTTRs are usually smaller than the day-ahead capacity, and that's of course the fact that there are much more uncertainties of the amount of the capacity that is available for the long-term allocation compared to the day ahead. And that's why there is taken the more conservative approach when allocated the capacities. Also in taking into account about the planned outages when known, and the reliability margin, for example. So, but for the next slides, I will go to more detail what we are actually proposing in our presentation. But this is the let's say the regulation and the ACER's view on how we should allocate the capacity. Then, as we are all aware, we don't have a long-term capacity calculation methodology approved in Baltic region, or it's not implemented. So therefore, in order to be able to give the FTRs on the market, we have had some exemptions, and for this, when we don't have the splitting method, let's say capacity calculation methodology in place, we have to propose a splitting methodology, which is according to Article 16 of the regulation. And that's our now proposal. It's the bilaterally agreed with the TSOs, and we need for regulatory oversight, which means in case in Finland we need approval from the regulators, and in Estonia we need opinion on it. So we call that the bilateral splitting methodology BSM as a short name, and like stated in the previous, we need this because we don't have a not all compliant methodologies implemented yet in place. And the ACER gave the opinion when this proposal was done that we need the regulatory oversight on this proposal. And now we have developed a proposal, and that's now will be open for your consultations. And our aim is to send the proposal for the consultation now before the summer vacation period in the Nordic Baltic region. And here we see in a red text here is that we see that there is 2 weeks consultation period offered. So then, if vacation starts in the beginning of the July, so to say, you are still able to give your comments before you go with the vacations. So what does then say our proposal? Now I don't actually see if there are questions or anything in between. But yeah, let me know, because I don't have a Teams open. Yes. So how we approach on this our proposal, how to allocate and which amount to allocate in our proposal for the FTRs. So we of course want to allocate the amount that we can ensure that there is that the amount is on the level that we can trust and you can trust to the product that we are, and we minimize the risk of the curtailment, which means that then in practice that not the full amount of the capacity will be allocated, as that would be the higher risk, then we have to curtail it at some point of time. So what we propose now is that we use those 2 cables, SLink 1 and SLink 2. SLink 1 350 megawatts and SLink 2 650 megawatts as basic in when we do the allocations. So what we now propose is that for the yearly auction, we will give a maximum of the capacity of the EstLink 1. And then on the total of the monthly and the yearly auction, the sum shall not be exceed the limit of the EstLink 2, which is 650 megawatts. And these allocation results are monitored by both TSOs, and in the methodology it's also stated that if there is a need or if the amount that is offered for the LTTRs is exceed to the needs for the hedging seen, then we can reduce to the given capacity amount. And that's a bit more detailed in the proposal, in which cases and what are the principles when we might need to be reduced the amount. So the shortly and the formula basis how the splitting rules will look like. So we have a long-term capacity, cross-zonal capacity. So it will be the minimum value of the EstLink 1, which is the and up till the EstLink 1. How to explain this more clearly? So it's 350 megawatts is the maximum amount that can be allocated for the yearly auctions, but that amount will take account about any reductions or reductions that are foreseen for that amount. And then for the monthly it will be the what is already allocated to the yearly auctions, and then what is left from the EstLink 2 when we take the EstLink 2 capacity in the account. So 650 megawatts together is the amount. So if we have given 350 for yearly auctions, then we have a 300 for the monthly auctions. Are there any questions on this? No, not yet. Or somebody want to complete this? Because then I think they're going to the last slide. So I'm quite fast today, so to say. So we are publishing the consultation on Monday, 13th of June, and then you have 2 weeks time for responding it. So 26th of June is the deadline for this consultation. When we have received your respondents, we will of course to collect them and look at it if there is a need to amend to our proposal according to your feedback. And when we receive when we have updated, then we will send this to the regulators for oversight. And the updated bilateral splitting method will be published after Finnish regulatory authority. So Energiavirasto has approved it, and the Estonian authority has given the positive opinion, or if decision is taken by the ACER. So the regulators has 6 months time according to the regulations for approval, but I think we seek for a bit faster approval on this. So that was from the splitting methodology. I think it was not that difficult, so to say, how we are planned to be allocated. Do you have any concerns or comments on this proposal that we have now, that you would like to bring already now, or then of course you are welcome to give your comments in a written format during the consultation period.
Thank you, Maria. So any questions, comments at this point? And as mentioned, this document will be then on public consultation. You will have chance to provide written comments. Marko, please.
I have a question. Do I understand correctly that we are talking about monthly and yearly capacity and not anything quarterly?
Yes, if it was a bit vague to the end of the question, I would say I didn't hear it well, but yeah, we are going to offer the yearly and monthly auctions, not other products. That was in our previous proposal. If that was what you asked.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so I guess not. Then thank you very much, Maria, and we can move on to the next presentation, which is given by Stefan from JAO. Thank you for joining and agreeing to make the presentation, Stefan, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So let me share my screen. And in the meantime, I can introduce myself. So my name is Stefan Bogdanov. I am the project manager on JAO site for the implementation of the long-term auctions on Finland, Estonia. Let me see, is my screen being shared?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Then just a second to set that up. Okay. Let me know when you can see it.
Now we can see it.
Okay, good. Thank you. So yes, I'm the project manager working on this on behalf of JAO. A little introduction on JAO. So we have been designated as the single allocation platform in 2018, giving us the task to operate all long-term capacity auctions in the European Union on behalf of the TSOs. Some of you may already be working with us on the Estonia-Latvia border. So for those of you, happy to see you again and happy to welcome you on another border. For the rest, we are looking forward to offering our services. So for you as market participants, once the project is live, you will be mostly in touch with our operations department. They are the single point of contact for all questions and concerns. They handle the registration on our platform. They offer technical support in case you have some issues. You can manage the users with them, the invoicing and compensations in case you have any questions, in case you have any need for information on the secondary market, which is the return and transfer of transmission rights, and anything related to the distribution of the rights themselves. So if you haven't received the file, any issues like that, our operations team will be available to help. I actually have a representative of operations with me who will take over the presentation a little bit later to explain to you the registration and invoicing process. And then a quick summary on what we will be offering on this border. So as previously mentioned, yearly and monthly auctions will be run only in the direction of Finland to Estonia. The product will be a base product. So 24 hours a day for the duration of the month or the year, of course, considering the clock change. And the rights will be considered financial transmission rights. So no nominations are expected, and 100% of the capacity will be compensated as use it or sell it, unless curtailed. Then all of the auctions are organized in the ECAT auction tool. We provide a web graphical interface and the web services API in case you want to develop some software to communicate with the auction tool. We will share the presentation, and those links here that you see will actually point you to the user guides for both of them. The platform is available 24 hours a day, every day. So even if there are no auctions open on this border, then you can still access your settlement information, your rights information, you can place transfers and so on. There is no limit on the user accounts that a market participant can have. We don't ask for anything for user accounts or for registration. So from our side, the service is completely free. The only cost that you could actually have is that we require a certificate for logging in, an electronic certificate. So you would have, in case you don't have that already, you would have to get that from a EU-approved certificate authority. But that is the only potential cost that you could have. We have training videos available on YouTube. You can follow the link when we send the presentation. And of course, as the project progresses and we come close to the go live, we will offer a test session for everybody, including market participants that are not registered with us, which will allow you to go through the full trading process from the yearly to the monthly, to the compensation, the curtailment, the invoicing, and basically allow you to test out every aspect of the system. I can give you a little sneak peek on how it looks. It is quite simple. So you have the auctions. You can filter by borders, by status, and then a very simple bidding interface, quantity and price, which you can submit. After the auction results are done, you can see your capacity rights in the allocation results. From the secondary market, you can place the transfer requests and the resale requests. You can have your programming authorizations to download, and you can export your settlement. Almost all of the files are anyways delivered to you automatically by email to any market participant, to any user that is registered for your company. But of course, you have the option to use the user interface and get them as well. In the meantime, most of the exchanges are also available as pure file exchanges over the web services. You can get into the guide and see some examples that we have provided. But basically, everything besides settlement is available in the form of web services. So now going on to the registration, I would invite my colleague Adam to take over, since most likely he will be part of the team that will be processing your registrations when the time comes. So nobody better to hear than from the guy that will be handling the situation. And then we will, of course, at the end, be available for questions and answers, both of us.
Thank you, Stefan. Stefan already mentioned, my name is Adam, and I'm responsible for the registration and rules and procedure on Java side. So let me quickly introduce you our registration process.
Sorry, Adam. Could you speak a bit louder or get your microphone a bit?
Yes, I set up my microphone.
Yeah.
And make it also louder. Is it better now?
Yes.
Super, thank you very much. Sorry for that. So in that case, let me introduce myself again. My name is Adam Mansha, and I'm working from Chao. My main role is to handle the registration, the rules, and the procedures, Chao side. And I'm here to introduce our registration process. As Stefan already mentioned, it is open and free for all the market participants who has a valid EIC code and has an Acer code. It is important to mention here that the EIC code has to be published on the Acer website as well. Starting with March 2021 is a mandatory publication for the MPs to fulfill the registration. And once they have it, they will, all the market participants need to open a ticket on our service desk, since we handled the whole registration process via our service desk. Everything what the MPs need to register on our service desk is only the EIC code and an email address. And using this ticket, all the MPs will be asked to provide us the registration documents, which are listed here. As you can see, there are quite a few of them. There are two agreements, the participation agreement and the financial agreement. Both of them can be found on our website under the resource center, and all the registration related documents are listed there. In case any of them is missing by starting the registration, our colleagues will ask for them and will help to complete them if it's required. We also need to proceed with the compliance check, the commercial register, which cannot be older than 3 months during the registration, and it has to be signed by authorized person of the company. We also need to check the owner structure of the company. In order to do that, we ask the market participant to provide us a beneficial owner structure document, which cannot be older than 1 month during the registration, and it has to be signed by authorized person as well. In case there is an ultimate beneficial owner of the company, his or her ID card is required as well. As you can see, ultimate beneficial owner means the person who owns more than 25% of the company or its voting rights. We also ask the market participant in the participation agreement to share their bank account details with us. And to confirm these data, we also ask them to provide us a certificate to the bank account. This certificate has to be issued by the bank and cannot be older than 1 month. It needs to contain the name of the company, the address of the company, the IBAN, and the SWIFT code of the bank account. Once we have all the agreements and all the documentation ready and completed duly, we will ask the MPs to sign the document if they didn't do it yet. Till that point, there are two ways to sign the agreements. We can accept electronic signatures and then the normal wet signatures. In case of the electronic signature, it's important to know that we can accept only qualified certificates as an electronic signature, and the qualified certificate need to be listed on the EU Trusted List browser. In case of electronic signature, no hard copies are required. The market participant can easily attach the signed documents to the service desk ticket. We will download them, countersign them, and attach the countersigned copy also to the ticket. The procedure is a bit different of wet signatures, because at first we ask the market participant to provide us a scanned copy attached to the ticket to make sure that it has been signed properly, and after that we ask them to provide us 2 original copies of the agreements, also the participation and also the financial agreement. Yes, since there will be only long-term rights allocated on that border, and it covers by the harmonized allocation rules. In the participation agreements, no need to accept any additional rules. Once the market participants sign the agreement, it means they accept the harmonized allocation rules, so no additional rules need to be accepted. In case you or the market participant need any further assistance on the registration process, they can contact us in any time using our service desk or via email as well. But I do suggest to read our registration guide at first, which is available on our website. There are listed all the relevant documents, all the necessary steps. So that's pretty straightforward, and hopefully it will be useful for everyone. And on the next page, once the market participants registered and the company has an account in our allocation platforms in ECAT, which Stefan has introduced, we will ask the market participant to provide us a user account form to be able to participate in the auctions and to have access to our allocation platform. It will be requested at the end of the registration process, and at that time we will also need the certificate that Stefan also mentioned previously. And as a next step, the market participants also need to increase their credit limit in order to be able to participate and take bids in the auctions. And these are the collateral requirements. The collaterals can be a cash deposit and can be also a bank guarantee. During the registration process, we clarify all this information to the MPs, and we also provide our bank guarantee template to them to make the process easier. In order the market participants decide to use cash deposit, they need to transfer cash to their business accounts, which will be opened during the registration. And there is an additional information what need to be mentioned at that point. As it was mentioned, the registration is free for everyone, but there is an additional cost regarding to the business account. It has a monthly fee in the amount €25, and it will be used for transferring money, and the cash deposit which is available on that business account will be used as a credit limit. The MPs are able to increase and decrease this amount anytime. To decrease the amount and transfer the money back to their corporate account, Joe will request a fund transfer request, which has to be signed by an authorized person. And our finance team will transfer the requested money back to the MPs to the given corporate account. It's also important to know that the credit limit is updating live. So the credit limit is covering all the liabilities and all the potential liabilities. It means that all the potentially winning bids need to be covered by this credit limit. And anytime the MPs take a bid, the credit limit will be deducted of the amount of the bid. Yes, and on the next page, let me just talk quickly about our invoicing process, which is covering the cost of the allocation and the compensation. And it is calculated once in a month on the 10th working day. And there are two possibilities. It could be that the cost of the allocation is higher than the compensation. In that case, Jao will provide to the MPs an invoice. And in the other case, if the compensation is higher than the allocation, it's called self-billing. In that case, this self-billing will contain the amount that Jao will transfer to the MP's corporate account. There are some important dates regarding to the invoicing process. We will issue the invoice payment on the 15th of every 15th working day of the month. It means that the invoice amount we need to be able on the business account at latest on the 15th working day of every month. Because of the 15th of the 16th working day, JAO will debit the business account. Our operation and finance team do a financial guarantee check on the monthly basis, mostly before the 15th working day. And in case the credit limit is not sufficient, we send a reminder to the MPs asking them to increase the amount of the cash collaterals on their business account. And the last date is the 17th working day when the self-bills are issued. And on that day, we are debiting we are transferring the self-billing amount back to the MP's given corporate account. And here in the small calendar, you can see all these dates. If you have any further question, we have a small PDF on our website regarding to the invoicing process. You can find it under the Resource Center as all the other related documents. On the next page, you can find this quick description of our calculation process. As you can see, it is really clear and straightforward indeed. We take into account the allocated capacity, which is a megawatt. It's important to know here, as Stefan also mentioned, if there is a maintenance during the month, the amount of the capacity is deducted with the maintenance period amount. It could be that there is a zero or just less than a normally allocated capacity. It's multiplied by the price of the capacity and all the positions. Normally it's 24 hours, but in case of the clock changes, it could be 1 hour more or 1 hour less. And at the end, it's multiplied by the days of the month. Logically, it could be from 28 till 31. And we divided it by the amount of the month. In case of a monthly product, it will be, of course, 1 here, and the result is will be rounded down. So basically, it's a really easy process. We have also a short description on our website regarding to that. But in case you faced any issue or you figure out some issues regarding to your invoice, you can contact us anytime, and our operation team or financial team will check and clarify the possible questions. Other than that, I guess there aren't any more important information regarding to the registration, but in case you need any further assistance or if you have any further questions, just please ask me now, or later on you will be able to open a ticket on our service desk and we will be help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions to JAO colleagues? First of all, thank you very much for the introduction to your processes. But yes, are there any questions towards our JAO colleagues? Okay. Seem to be no questions, no comments. Are there anything? So we can move to the general questions and discussion part. So are there any questions, any comments, both for about the first presentation or the second one? Okay, no questions, comments at this point. So again, thank you very much, Stefan and Adam, for the introduction. So we can move to the next topic, which is the project update and next steps. This is given by Airi. So Airi, please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Erki. So yes, I'm happy to go through our tasks and milestones that we have to take to have the long-term transmission rights on Estonian-Finnish border. As also on our last webinars, I take those tasks step by step. And firstly, I'm happy to say that we are on our fast scenario, and we are very positive and hoping to have the products available already for next year. So, but first, two most important methodologies for Estonian-Finnish border are the regional design and the HAR regional annex, which defines the gap on the payout for the long-term transmission rights. So we have finished the public consultation. And thank you for everyone who gave their input. We have read those comments carefully. We made some amendments in the regional design methodology, and on Monday we'll end the voting of the regional DSOs on the final text of the methodologies to submit them to relevant NRAs for approval. So those methodologies need to be approved by Latvian, Estonian, and Finnish regulators, and we will submit them next week. So we can say that we are currently here. So in mid-June, we will submit them for regulators, and now regulators have up to 6 months for approval. Then our third task is capacity calculation and splitting methodology. As Maria started with this topic, we have bilateral methodology drafted. We have introduced it also to regulators unofficially already. We received first comments, took them into account, and as Maria told, we will start the public consultation on this capacity splitting methodology on Monday. We will send the methodology and the invitation to give your input. But to be online with the fast scenario, then the consultation will be open for 2 weeks. So please take this into account when scheduling your next steps and reading the methodology. And we hope to submit it for Estonian and Finnish regulator for opinion and for approval in beginning of July. Yes. Then we have those EU-wide methodologies that are not currently implemented in Finland. We have submitted those for Acer approval, and a latest update from Acer is that they hope to give their decision latest in the end of summer. So here also we are on fast scenario track, so it seems all good. Then Fingrid joining the single allocation platform agreement and the council. Fingrid has started the process very effectively. Ciao has helped us a lot. And we have agreed on the testing times. So in October, Fingrid and Elering will make the tests for technical solution, and everything seems to be in line. No big surprises there. And our sixth very important task in this project is the stakeholders' involvement. So here we are on our third webinar. We are planning to have also a fourth webinar in autumn. Currently, we do not have any topics yet to discuss, but here we are waiting for all stakeholders' involvement. So please let us know if there are any topics or methodologies that you want to look in more detail, and let us know, and we will organize one more webinar before the auction. So hopefully then we already have approvals from the regulators, or we at least know when those approvals are expected. And also we have drafted the auction calendar with the Ciao and with all other DSOs, as this process needs to go hand in hand between all the DSOs. And those are our tasks. As already said, we are on a fast scenario, and everything goes by plan. So does anybody have any questions regarding those tasks or milestones? If no questions, then as always, after the webinar, we will send out the slides used today, and also the recording of the webinar. So you are welcome to share it with your colleagues. And might you have any questions? Then here are the contacts in Elering and in Fingrid. You are welcome to address them to our emails. And yes, most important, please give your input on our public consultation regarding the splitting methodology.
Okay, so thank you very much, Airi. We have exhausted our agenda. I'll give 10 more seconds if someone wants to ask something or give a comment. Otherwise, thanks to everybody for participating. And thanks to Marja, Stefan, Adam, and Airi for the presentations. And as Airi said, we are open to any feedback, especially on the public consultation, but also anything else. If you see the need for further webinars, or you have ideas how to what to put on the agenda on the fourth webinar, please do let us know. Okay, thank you all, and I then pronounce this webinar to be ended. Thank you.
Thank you.